Welcome back to the BS Your Way Through Life show. And hello, my fellow BSers. Yes, BSing our way through life because life did not come with a manual. Although technically it did. It is called the scriptures. That is our life manual. And it helps so much. But there are so many parts of our life where I was like, I really wish I had a specific manual for this moment. Today, it might be one of those times, the discussion that we're going to be discussing. We're going to talk about alignment. And I bet sometimes you wish you had a manual for these situations. So I was thinking about this because Christmas is coming and uh, there's all kinds of directions that you tend to go in this year. Like, especially if you're a family person and you have children and you have a husband, or whoever's listening, you have a wife and you have children, whatever. And it's just crazy because you have school and the holidays, and then you have breaks, and then you have more school, and then you have more holidays. It's just, it all just starts happening at the same time. And you end up having like the Christmas things that you do with your family. And you also have the school obligations that you do with your family. And there's the holiday things for school. And there's the holiday things for whatever extracurricular things that you're doing. Like it's chaos. And it's definitely chaos on my end. And on top of that, you're like, okay, I want to make sure that we have a lovely holiday and it's a peaceful and holiday. And every year I'm like, I'm sure so many of you go through this where you're like, this year we're gonna like do all the things and we're gonna enjoy, but then you find yourself being more chaos than enjoying because, oh my goodness, now we're over here with the school, and now we're over here with the church, and now we're over here with the extracurricular stuff. Like, you're not enjoying, you're surviving. At some point you realize, oh, I'm not putting up the Christmas lights that I wanted to. I'm not putting up the decorations I wanted to. I'm not doing like the baking of the cookies I was hoping to doing. And maybe some of you are getting to it and you're doing it and you're like, I'm doing this anyway. Yeah. But then you're exhausted. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you plan things out perfectly and you're doing great. Tell me how you do it, please. But for those of you who are literally BSing their way through everything right now and are doing like the best they can, um, here's something I've come to realize. So during all this chaos, along with all this chaos, you do the thing. You ask the spouse. You're like, okay, so Christmas presents. What do we want to get our kids? And what do we want for Christmas for each other, right? So my husband and I personally, I'm going to give you some advice right now, this very second, have grown out of the let's get a gift, surprise each other, and then hopefully they like it phase. We're over that. I'm over it. I'm done with it. I have decided for birthdays and Christmas, you know what? We're not kids anymore. It's okay to be like, hey, I want this for my birthday, or I want this for Christmas, and be like, this is what I'm getting. And like, okay, like last year for my birthday was awesome. I said, honey, what I want for my birthday is to go to Ross and I just want to get new outfits. That's what I want for my birthday. He's like, okay, go do it. I went, I did it. And we give ourselves, a budget because it's smart to budget. We give ourselves a certain amount, to spend or whatever we and so I went and I spent that amount at Ross and got all new outfits, and I was happy as could be. I didn't get a gift. I was like, oh, now I feel obligated to keep it or use it. And I didn't get a gift that I was like, oh, you thought I wanted this, or or you get a gift because we're hoping that we benefit from that gift too. Come on. I know some of you out there do it. I've done it. I'm like, I'm getting this gift because I'm gonna benefit. I got my husband like this awesome, like it was like a pamper kit themed because I'm like, he got a cool water bottle, which he loved, and he got a nice massager, which she loved. But I tell you, I got that massager because I wanted to use it, and I use it way more than he does. So there's my confession. Yes, I've done that. So we're past that. My husband says, this is what I want for my birthday. I'm like, go do it. Like for his birthday this year, he's like, I just want to go to Harbor Freight and buy a bunch of tools. I'm like, yes, please go do it. And that's it. And then I make him a special cake. It is such a relief. That's the same thing we're doing for Christmas. Now, getting to the align thing with all the chaos, with all the crazy that goes on in everything. And then you come to the like, okay, how do we want to, buy Christmas presents for the kids? Now, in my head, I'm thinking, because I am going through an overwhelm right now, especially with premenopause. I can't tell you how I'm so overwhelmed with stuff. So all of the last thing I want is stuff, especially little stuff. You know what I'm talking about when you have little kids, especially toddlers, and you get these toys that have many pieces, and you know that those pieces are just going to get lost, and they're going to be all over the house, and you're going to be stepping on them, you're going to be tripping on them. It's okay. And they take up your life and time because you're just cleaning it up. So I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, I would like to be more um, specific or more intentional with their gifts. And that's something I recommend you all doing is be intentional with their gifts. What is it they're actually interested in and get the things that they actually will use and they're interested in. Because today is unfortunately it's a screen world right now. They're on their screens for school, they're on their screens for pleasure. Now if you're a smart present, if you're a smart present, yes, if you're a smart present, if you're a smart person, what is it called? Parent. I'll get there. I'm not going to apologize for my having no brain because it's just where it is right now. So if you're a smart parent, then you will have what do you call it? Lines or restrictions, or there's a better word for this, people. Somebody shout the word out for me here. There you have boundaries. Oh, thank you. Boundaries. So boundaries, if you have boundaries, and my husband and I do, like literally, we're like, okay, 7 o'clock is your recreation time on your tablets. But outside of that, no. And my kids are not allowed to have a smartphone until they're 17 or about to graduate, and they have to pay for it themselves. We will not buy them a smartphone because they don't need that. Their brains are developing. It's actually bad for your kids. It actually is. Our children today have so much anxiety because they are in front of a screen and they're not learning to be in the real world. And when you're not learning to do that and you get out in the real world, anxiety just is bad. So don't do that to your kids. My kids, if they need a phone, we get them a flip phone, which they can hardly do anything on. It's amazing. So if you feel like your kids, well, then my kids need a phone, to communicate with friends, good, get them a flip phone. So that's what we do. And they only get a flip phone when they have a job and they're actually like going out a lot. And so my oldest son, he has a flip phone right now, and that's how we communicate with him. So anyway, so you're gonna get little bits of advice on the way. I promise I'll get to the line thing, but this stuff is important. Um, so you are you you have boundaries for your kids. Anyway, we're in a screen world, and so I'm realizing during a lot of the time of the year, which is the school year, which is unfortunately, most of their time, they're in school. And so their time to and what they can do with what you give them. Think about like what their time is spent doing mostly and what they love to do in their free time. You want to hone in on what they actually love doing in their free time. You want to hone in on their passions. And so, whatever that is, so that way you're not buying random toys that just sit in a box and do nothing and take up space in your house. You don't want that. So, get something that actually matters to them. And they're going to ask for specific things. Well, then good. Get the specific things. My husband and I do it all the time. But but sometimes like I am in my head, I am feeling very passionate about let's be very intentional with their gifts. And we don't need to get a lot. Let's just get quality and what actually will matter to them and what they'll use. And my husband, he's usually on the side of like, this is fun for me. And that's good. It's all good. I'm all happy about it because it's fun for me too. I end up falling into it too because it's fun. Where he likes to go out and he likes to just look at all these fun stuff. It's like, oh, I think they'll have fun with this. And I think they'll have fun with this. We get them all these cool little gifts. And some of them they end up loving and playing with, but some of them they end up playing with a little bit, but then they don't really get to it or it doesn't get paid much attention to. So it just sits there. And that's happened and a lot. And so when you are just know that when you come and you have this great idea in your head that your spouse may not be aligned with that. You have this whole speech in your head. You have this whole like passion that you're feeling, and you come to them and you're like, la 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 la. And they're like, oh, well, I actually had this in mind. And then there's the feelings of disappointment and frustration that come on. And maybe you even get into a tiff, right? But I hope you don't. I hope that though you're not aligned, you see, oh, I see. Well, and then how can you compromise? How can you have a conversation and not be and not be like frustrated and upset and start like a silly thing and then be like, well, I love that. I like doing that too, but you know, if I see what they actually play with and what they do. So how can we make it so it's more intentional and we're getting things that actually get played with and it's not an overwhelm of clutter, but at the same time, we're still having fun when we're picking out gifts, right? Because I love that part too. I really do. Like my husband and I, we're going out, we're gonna go like pick out gifts and stuff, even though we've already bought gifts, specific gifts. Now we're gonna go out and we're gonna have a little fun, and that's okay. But how can you make how can you not argue about it, right? And I want you to know it's okay that you're not aligned. It is okay. Like maybe you ask your husband, hey, what do we want to do for Christmas? What do we want to do for, gifts for each other? And he's thinking, oh, I have an idea. Let's buy a trailer or a tractor. And I'm like, well, I was thinking more of a steam mop. And I was thinking more of uh, like a giant crock pot because it's going to bless our family and the steam up. I can kill everything in the house with steam. And so, like, because I want the house clean, or maybe on a daily basis, so you're like, well, what do you want? What are you hoping to do today? Well, together. Well, I was hoping we would work up in the shop. Oh, I was hoping we would declutter and deep clean the house, right? Like, maybe you love working up at the shop with your husband, or maybe he doesn't mind doing cleaning with you, but you both had different things in mind. And then the other one's disappointed because they were hoping you would be more excited about what they wanted to do, or you were hoping they'd be more excited about what you want to do, but they're just not. They're not there. And that is okay. It's not a reason to be like mad. It's okay to be disappointed about it. It's not a reason to like start an argument. It's okay when you're not aligned. What will help in these situations is one, have respect for what your spouse was hoping to do and they want to do. Don't be critical or judgmental of what they were hoping for. Instead, respect it and also realize and also expect. Don't forget that they love it and they love you, so they're hoping that you would want to do it with them, right? And that is okay. And be like, oh, well, I was hoping for this. And it's okay if they're bummed, and it's okay if you're bummed, and it's okay that you're not aligned. And you can handle it just fine. And make sure you validate, oh, I see, and try to find the compromise. Well, maybe we could work up, in the shop for such amount of time. And then we can come down and do this, right? And maybe you get caught up in the shop and it doesn't happen and you don't get down to the house to do the deep cleaning or whatever together that you were hoping to do, right? And maybe that's okay. And be like, hey, let's move it to another day. And maybe it doesn't end up happening because life happens and things get busy. But let's just because we have the feelings of resentment that may come upon us, and just because, frustration comes on, and maybe even the feelings of like, well, I feel like that we always do their thing, but then we never do my thing, and we never get to my thing. It doesn't mean you need to buy into it. Doesn't mean that you need to start something or be passive aggressive or start being petty. Instead, use these opportunities. Tell yourself, okay, so if you've heard my podcast before, you swipe to the left. Nope, swipe to the left. We don't want that one. Swipe to the left. We don't want that emotion. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to work through this emotion. Now swipe to the left. Let's have a conversation. This is opportunity to have a conversation. Like, Okay, be like, well, yes, I do realize that this, and think about what actually is priority too, right? And just like, hey, I know you really want to do this, but last time, and try to avoid like the whole last time. Like I, instead of saying last time, blah blah. So I feel like we always get to your things, but we don't get to what I wanted to do, and it's a little frustrating. And don't be too put off. They might get frustrated and feel like, ah, because they're thinking differently, and maybe they feel like, well, that's not true. But then, whatever. So have a conversation, remain calm during those conversations. It's okay if it's okay that you're thinking differently. It's okay. And it might be frustrating. And then this is the thing why you want to make sure you're in the right energy and you swipe left to the other emotions and you think logically. Don't have a conversation where it's all emotional because you're going to get what you give out is what you're going to give back. Okay. Frequency. So, what frequency you put out there, if you're putting out a petty or angry or frustrated frequency, you're going to get that back. So put out an understanding. And like, I understand that this is part, but I really want to get to this too. If you're putting out the positive vibes, the appreciation vibes, I'm so glad that we were able to get this done. No regrets, but I really want to get to this. You're going to get a better frequency back. You're going to more than likely get what you're hoping to get, the results you want to get. Okay. I know because I've tried it. It's true. Right. And my husband too. Like, over the years. Like he's learned, oh, if I communicate with Buffy like this, I get better results from her. Like in the past, it was, like frustration because he's like, well, I really needed you over here with me. And I'm like, but I really needed to do this. And so now it's like, now we've both learned to ask, hey, ask each other what we had in mind or what are you doing right now, and if I have something going on and he respects that, I'm like, oh good, and then I'm more than likely to be even, maybe even drop what I'm doing, like, and he's like, well, I was gonna go do this, kind of hoping that you join me, but that's okay. I see that you got that going on. Don't worry, I got this. Right. I'm like, actually, I could do this later. I'll come and help you, or I'd rather come and help you, right? But you've got to have the energy of like respect for what they already had in mind or what they had planned or what they were already doing. For instance, like taking out the trash, just coming up and, hey, I need you to take out the trash. And then like, sure, I can get that done. And then you walk away, but then it doesn't get done when you thought it would get done. You left yourself open. You left it wide open. You need to be more specific. Be like, hey, are you in the middle of anything right now? Or notice that, oh, I see you're in the middle of something right now. And is this something you can break away from for 5 minutes? And or what, just get the expectation right, and show that you respect what they're in front of right now, what they're doing right now. And even if it's them watching TV, it's like, hey, is this a good time to ask? If it's not a big deal, let them know it's not a big deal, right? And be like, and then we're like, no, I can. What do you need? I'm like, I just needed the trash taken out right now, real quick, because it's pretty full. But if you can't get to it, it's okay. I can get to it, and I can do it. It's just I'm in the middle of this and this right now, and I was hoping to just take one thing off my plate, right? Do you see the specific language? You, that way the job that you're hoping to get done gets done right then. And then if they can't do it, you're like, no big, you do get to it when you want it done. And then there's not this frustration of like, oh, they're not getting done when I need to. So I'm just going to take it out right now. Because I feel like now you feel like you can't because you've asked them. So if you take it out, then it's going to start an argument because like, well, I said I was going to do it. I know, but I need it done now. Well, you should have said you needed it done right now. Right. You see what I mean? It takes all that out if you're more specific. Don't make them read your mind because they can't. It's not possible. Okay. All right, my dears. I hope this helps with the holidays. I hope all these little things helps you like have some inspiration so that when you're in the holidays, you have a more peaceful holidays between each other. There's no need. Let's have a peaceful holiday. And this is one of the ways that you can do it. All right. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Because Jesus is the reason for the season. All right. Y'all have an amazing day.